Hello and welcome to another episode of Summary and Review with the comic book critic from Brooklyn. Today we're here with All-Star Batman number 5. Man, All-Star Batman. This has been like Scott Snyder's tour of the U.S., right? So the original Batman run he did was like his, I'm going to build these 50 states here, okay? Now he's built the 50 states, now he's touring all 50 states. So Batman's got all of these enemies that he's up against, he's carrying Two-Face, he's just some crazy stuff going on in this book, and it's been friggin' awesome so far. So I got for you guys a 3-page summary. You're going to have to bear with me here. It's the longest summary I've done so far. So, we open up to a mob of people heading straight into the KGBeast lair. Penguin KGBeasts are fighting back with ammunition. In order to prevent death in the mob, Batman blows the bridge to the lair, saving the mob from the bullets, but putting the lair on a course down a river that will lead to an enormous waterfall. Batman, thinking on his toes, escapes on a floatable piece of fiberglass from the lair with Dent and Duke, while the Beast, Penguin, and gang continue towards the waterfall. Batman, Two-Face, and Duke escape the falls, run into the woods, and find Tweedledee and Tweedledum of the Wonderland Gang. They proceed to beat up Tweedledee and Tweedledum of the Wonderland Gang, and find their van just outside the woods, which they use to continue their journey. Cut to Jim Gordon and Alfred for a moment to show that Gordon and his boys are about to invade the Batcave at Wayne Manor from a tip that has been given to them from Two-Face a while back in a couple issues. Cut back to Batman, Duke, and Two-Face, who have all finally arrived at the Troubles Boy home from their past. So to sum up the past 4 issues, Batman's been traveling with Two-Face to get to this boy's home that Bruce and Harvey Dent used to go to when they were children. And supposedly, Harvey has hidden a cure to get rid of Two-Face at this place. So now they've finally arrived, and Duke Thomas is also with them. As they enter the home, Batman immediately looks for the cure that will bring Dent back from Two-Face. The house is beaten and abandoned, so the cure turns out to be underneath a floorboard. Batman tests the cure while Harvey resurfaces and Two-Face goes away, but Harvey has a confession to make for Batman. You see, Two-Face is 2 different people, so sometimes you're dealing with Two-Face and sometimes you're dealing with Harvey. In this case, Harvey is kind of being defeated here because they're bringing him back to the past. Or rather, Two-Face is being defeated here because they're bringing Harvey back to the past, so Harvey's resurfacing here. It turns out the cure is just a drug that will allow whichever of Two-Face's personalities is strongest to take over their personality permanently. So if the Two-Face side is stronger, that'll take over. If the Harvey side is stronger, the Harvey side will take over. Batman, being hesitant, forces both personalities to emerge in Dent. So he's sitting there thinking about what he should do, because this isn't the cure that he thought it was going to be. Then all of a sudden, both Dent and Two-Face are talking out of Harvey Dent's body towards Bruce. They both then explain to Batman that if he doesn't give Dent the cure, that Harvey will poison Gotham with that very cure, causing mass population mental damage. So he's got a cloud hovering over Gotham, and he's threatening to let it go and poison all of Gotham, turning them into either crazy people or loving people, because that's what the cure is supposed to do. To raise the stakes even higher, Two-Face reveals a phone underneath another floorboard with Alfred on the line, who tells Batman that Gordon is raiding the Batcave. Alfred admits that he's been part of the plan because of a secret he's been holding. He tells Bruce the secret and instructs him to come back home and stop all this. So when the secret is when Bruce was first starting out, Alfred wanted to kill the Joker because the Joker was all that represented evil in Gotham. So he hired somebody to do that. I guess he went through Two-Face to hire this person because Two-Face ended up getting their financial data, and that's how he was able to link the Batcave to Wayne Manor and send this tip off to Jim Gordon. So at this point, Batman breaks, and he just starts beating Dent to death through walls, through grass, through mud, just sending him all through the house, beating the shit out of him. Batman stops suddenly and injects something into Dent. Turns out Batman had a contingency plan in case the cure didn't turn out to be what it was promised. Batman's cure allows Dent to be whichever personality fights harder. So they beat the shit out of each other. They end up outside behind the house at this cliff, and Batman stops, injects him with this thing, and it's going to make Harvey Dent be whoever Harvey Dent really wants to be. If he wants to be Two-Face, that's who's going to come shine through. If he wants to be Harvey, that's who's going to shine through. The house is beaten and abandoned, so the cure turns out to be... wrong page, guys, sorry. Harvey gets mad but passes out after deactivating the cloud over Gotham. So he sees the cure, he thinks it's the cure that he's supposed to be taking. Batman doesn't tell him that it's a contingency plan cure, so Harvey goes and deactivates the thing using like a cell phone, and the cloud goes away over Gotham. With the mission complete and Dent out cold because he was sedated within that cure that Batman gave him, Batman calls to Duke to head home, but receives a harpoon through the back from the KGBeast out of nowhere. The Beast starts monologuing again just as our mob shows up from the beginning of the book. So KGB shows up at this place, the mob shows up at this place, everybody's arriving at just the same time to really ruin Batman's day here. The Beast starts monologuing again, we did that. The Beast immediately turns his attention to the mob, which he was trying to kill earlier, with the intent to kill, and Duke removes the harpoon out of Batman while he is being distracted by the mob. The Beast, now about to kill the mob, gets tackled off of that cliff by Batman. So KGBeast throws his harpoon, the mob shows up, KGBeast turns to go and kill the mob, puts out his weapon. Meanwhile, Duke's pulling the harpoon out of Batman. Batman hops up and tackles KGBeast over the cliff. At the last second, Duke launches to catch Batman as he descends over this cliff, and does. Duke pulls him back to safety, and the mob, having seen the whole thing, backs the hell away and lets Duke and Batman go, carrying Dent's lucky coin. The mob was there to get Batman to get Two-Face, but after seeing what Batman just did, how are you not going to let Batman go through, right? 2 weeks and 2 days later, Batman shows up at the Penguin's door in Gotham, dressed as the KGBeast, to scare the shit out of him and his gang. And that's the end. So basically, there was this long 5-issue series of getting Two-Face, Harvey Dent, to this old boy's home in upstate New York. It took just about 500 miles. And it turns out that the cure that was at this house is not the cure that he was looking for, but that's okay because Batman had a contingency plan. What's kind of silly is Batman probably should have just gave him the cure that Batman had in the first place and not gone all the way upstate to do this, or gotten the cure from upstate and brought it to Two-Face. It's a little odd that he went through all this trouble, but I guess he was trying to raise the stakes, and I don't know. I thought it was a really solid ending, by the way. The conclusion was pretty good. You finalize the Two-Face Harvey thing. You finalize the Batman with the Harvey Dent thing. You figure out what their childhood was really all about. And they were like roommates at this boy's home. And you even get a little bit more into Duke's life, because Duke has been along for the entire voyage here. And he hasn't had a whole lot of stuff to do with Batman since Scott Snyder brought him in. So it's really cool that he was able to, be a part of this, which will really bring Duke closer to Batman in the long run. I thought the storytelling was fantastic. I don't think Scott Snyder could do a bad thing with Batman. Even if some issues are a little off the wall than others, he always brings it back and, tells the story. And he doesn't mind playing a little bit and, knocking you out and, making you think, oh man, what is he going to do here? He likes to do those kinds of things. He breaches the mystery of Batman. So it's solid. John Romita Jr. does the art on this, and I've never said a bad thing about John Romita Jr., and I will never say a bad thing about John Romita Jr. because he's amazing. The colors are vibrant and beautiful, and they twist very, very well. I mean, look at this. Look at this cover, seriously. This cover is friggin' sweet. All of the covers of All-Star Batman has been friggin' sweet. They have these variant covers, one done by John Romita Jr., one by Jock, and then one by DeCann and Shalvey, who did the short story in the back of the first 4 issues, and they're all friggin' amazing looking. And then, of course, there's the main issue, which is the one that I just showed you. So, enough of me talking on and on and on. I know you guys want me to get to my rating. This book, All-Star Batman number 5, I'm going to give a solid 8 out of 10. It was a solid book. It's not a perfect book. It could have been way more interesting, I think, if he used the right characters, and if he did a whole lot more with, the trip itself. The trip was kind of lackluster, but the story was great. The art is great. The plot is great. The cast is great. Just everything he did is fantastic. The whole book, 1 through 5, gets, honestly, an 8.0 out of 10 from me. So I guess that's about it for this episode of Summary and Review with the Comic Book Critic. If you enjoyed what I had to say and want to talk about it more, please comment below.